How you going? Thanks for the subscribers, Richie.
Subscribe, follow, thank you for everything. Appreciate it. 216.
That's pretty good, man. What else? We'll just get stuck into it.
This
This is the last part of the 4-part. We've got 15 left. So let's go. Number
1.
Okay, The Crow. I was working with a young client with childhood onset schizophrenia. This individual was a harm to themselves and others. My back was to the window in my office when they started screaming, "The man in the black is here." He followed me. No. As I'm trying to calm them down, they start to sob. He's at the window. I can hear him. He says he wants to hurt me. He wants to hurt you. He will come in here and take your skin off. He wants you dead. Fuck, that'd be freaky. I'm trying to calm them down, moving through the plan we had when they were overcome by their hallucinations. Then I hear tapping on the window. There is an enormous black crow at the window, tapping on the glass extremely hard with its beak. The bird was just staring at me. It would tap, bringing its head back, slamming its beak into the glass, then staring over and over again. I got the client calmed down and we ended. The bird was still there. We leave the office. The bird was still there when I came back. Next client comes in, bird was still there. That bird sat at my window another 4 hours staring and tapping, bro.
Fuck. So what would you do?
For something. I don't know. What would you do?
First I'm going to do.
Well, then you're going to break the window because imagine it comes in.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, man. Number 2?
2, yeah.
Peeping Tom. I don't know if this counts because I was too young to actually remember this happening. But one day when I was in elementary school, my mum picked my brother and I up from school and we stopped to play at a local park on the way home. We ended up leaving early because there was a sketchy truck parked there and my mum was still uneasy about it. Later that night, my mum was getting ready for bed and screamed because there was a guy peering through her bedroom window. My dad ran outside, but the guy was gone already. A month or so later, we were watching America's Most Wanted and my mum recognised one of the guys as the guy who had been peering through the window. His truck was identical to the sketchy truck she had seen at the park. He had murdered his girlfriend's parents.
What the
Girlfriend and brother were stabbed but survived. It's crazy, man.
Those truckies are a bit weird sometimes, eh?
Oh, come on, bro. All right, what's this? Number
3.
Benin Ghosts. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Here we go. Almost every night my TV turns on by itself at some point between 3 to 5 a.m. I used to think that maybe it was one of my cats who walked across the remote, but I've tried hiding the remote, putting it places where they couldn't get to it, and it still happens. Now I just turn the sound all the way down before I go to bed. The TV will still get turned on, but at least then I won't be woken up by it. I'm sure there's some reasonable explanation for it, but I'd rather like the idea of having a ghost who likes late night TV living in my tiny apartment with me. I mean, that's pretty freaky if you think about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Can you imagine?
Do you believe in that 3 to 5 a.m.? Like where, like a lot of stories are like weird stuff happens between 3 a.m., devil's hour and all that.
Yeah.
What do you reckon of it?
Never experienced it, so I don't know.
Fair enough. What are we at now?
4.
Number 4, shooter. I had a customer come into my work wearing a trench coat and what's that? Ushanka type hat. Looked to have something strapped to his shirt under the coat with duct tape. He left. I messaged my wife about how creepy he was and thought I thought he had a bomb in his chest. He came back 15 minutes later and thanked me for being polite and started talking about religion and Obama being the Antichrist. Turns out he was on his way to shoot up the Planned Parenthood and he managed to kill 3 people. Wow, that's crazy, man. Wow.
We don't really hear that shit here, eh?
No, not really, man.
In Australia, eh?
No. They don't have that there. It's crazy here.
You hear it a lot there.
Yeah, man.
You hear it on the news and then look what we just looked up now. We hear it a lot on these stories.
It's crazy, man. What are we at now?
5.
The universe turned off. Okay. About 3 years ago, my old roommate and I were just hanging out in our living room watching a show or something in the middle of the day. When all of a sudden, for like a split second, everything went pitch black, like everything. It was not a power outage, our TV remained on and there were no blinking clocks. It was more as if the universe just turned off for half a second. As if this utterly unparalleled experience wasn't enough on its own, my roommate looked over at me right after it happened and said, "Did you see that?" That's like you like saying that girl was talking. That's why you're pointing. I didn't hear it, bro.
I heard some girl talking. But then I looked and I seen a girl, so I thought it might be that. But then when you stop,
Maybe
There was
he's
nothing.
tired, bro.
Fuck, I'm starting to see shit.
What are we at?
Number 6.
Family story. When I was about 10, something real weird happened to my family. We were all asleep as usual, and I slept in the same room as my brother, and my mum with my father and younger brother. In the middle of the night, the safe in my parents' room starts going off as if someone was playing with it. My parents didn't think much about it, went back to bed, and right as they did, my brother's toys started playing music without anyone touching it. They were a little freaked out, but it went away after a few minutes, so they went back to bed. However, in the morning, when my mum brought my brother to the shower, she saw a red handprint on his back that was too big to be hers, but too small to be my father's. I saw the handprint, and it looks as though someone had slapped my brother, but nobody did, and he slept quite well. My mum called her family and told my grandparents about it. After a few phone calls, we found out that my paternal grandma died that night while we were asleep. So our family came up with the explanation that my grandmother wanted to see my newborn brother, so she paid us a little visit. I still am unable to explain that, and it is still a little scary to think about. That is pretty freaky, man.
Do you believe in that, Mark?
I don't believe, honestly, when I believe you're dead, you're dead. Is there something like a parallel universe, maybe demons and that, or stuff like that? 100%.
Yeah.
I do believe there's things that are unseen because of my belief, but that's 100%. Like, I do truly believe that.
I believe that too.
Because, like, why would people do these like acts and that, like magic and that? You know, there's got to be some
Something
type of meaning to it. Yeah, that's what I think. Prove me wrong. Comment. What are we at now?
7.
Haunted. When I was young, we used to live in a house that we didn't know was haunted at the time. There were many things I remember happening, but the one that freaked me out was when my sister said that whenever they tried to look for me, they always found me in my mum and dad's closet with the door closed. I would be sitting there in the dark and play with my toys, and when they asked why I was in there, I would say I'm playing with my friends. Other things kept happening, that my parents brought a medicine man to the house. He told us that an old man and his 2 granddaughters died in a fire in the house. So he did his ceremony to get rid of the spirits. He told us to leave the front door open for tonight, and we will all sleep in the living room. Towards the middle of the night, I remember we all woke up to the sound of the front door slamming shut, indicating that the spirits had left us. Far out, man. That's pretty freaky, eh? What are we at now, my friend?
9.
The thin person. Must be on a meat diet. My father's story. One day he was cooking for the family. The living room and kitchen is one room, where in the middle of it there is a corridor that leads to our bedrooms. As he was cooking, he turned around and saw this really tall and thin person. Runs from our living room through the corridor. My father, as a man of science, does not believe in the paranormal, but this got him. He went to check in every single bedroom just to be sure about it. That is the part that terrifies me.
Shit.
Wow. Far out, man. Tall, skinny person. See, like, so many people have said the same story. Like, you know, when they describe some type of, let's say, demon, ghost, monster, they always, if you realize, they always tall, skinny person.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Anyway, what are we at now?
10.
Ghost sister. I was waiting at my nan's house alone for a couple of hours, and it was all fine and dandy. I was sat on an armchair near the door of the living room, and I hear my sister clearly call my name in an annoyed way. She wasn't in the house. My heart started beating like crazy, and then when she did come into the house, about 40 minutes later, she just laughed at me. I still don't know what it was or if my mind was playing tricks on me, but it was very creepy. Wow.
These stories like I think like it's not too overboard, so it's believable. Which I think maybe it is true that these people went through the stuff.
Maybe.
But
What's this one? Number 10.
no, 11.
Is that 11?
The last one was 10.
I'll tell you something now.
Shit. As I see it.
That's the last one. So guys, it's not 60, right? But that's all right. Guess what this one's called? Number 11. Diana. This happened to my old co-worker. She was in the process of purchasing a new home. Her and her family would visit the developing home every weekend just to see the progress of the house. A few weeks passed where life got busy and they couldn't visit. Her 3-year-old daughter came up to her one day and said, "Mummy, When are we going to the house again? I want to see my friend, she replied. Oh, okay, sweetie, we're going to the house. Going there tomorrow, actually. She said, yay, and ran off. My coworker thought that maybe she was talking about a neighborhood kid or something like that and didn't think much of it. They visit the house the following day, and on the way home, her daughter starts crying. Mummy, I'm so sad. I didn't see my friend. And she replied, oh, honey, don't worry. Maybe you'll see your friend next weekend when we go. So my co-worker prayed that night to basically bring her daughter comfort and make her forget about this friend. That or have her see whoever this is next weekend. Well, the next day her daughter comes running into the room saying, Mummy, I'm so happy I saw my friend. She replied, oh, you did? Where did you see your friend? Confused because she always talks about seeing her friend on the other side of town. I saw her in the mirror. Her daughter replied, what? My co-worker said she loves me, but she can't see me anymore. My co-worker asked, what's your friend's name? And what does she look like? Her daughter responded, she's really pretty, long dark hair, and her name is Diana. My co-worker's heart sank. That was the name of her sister that died at birth.
Well.
That's pretty freaky, man.
Yeah.
You know what's even more freaky?
Oh.
I thought it was 60. It's nowhere near 60. That's like 50 something.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Wow, man. Could you imagine that? Bro, okay. Have you ever freaked out looking at a mirror? Honestly.
Yes.
Okay, so picture this. You live in a long corridor. So my parents' house, we used to live in a big house. Where my room was, we had rooms on this side and we had rooms on that side. But there was a massive corridor, huge corridor. My mum, for some reason, where we were, when we used to get out to walk to the kitchen, she put a humongous mirror there on the other side of the.
Oh yeah.
So if we're half asleep and we used to wake up, bro, that mirror used to look so freaky. Yeah. That dark.
Yeah.
You're seeing yourself, but in a very dark, shadowy. And you know what would be crazy? Like if you're looking, let's say, like I'm looking down, because I didn't want to look at the mirror. I would say I'll be walking down, I'm looking, whatever. And then, you know how sometimes you could look at things and your eyes play tricks on you?
Yeah.
So I'm looking towards the kitchen and it's like I see something in the mirror. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
So what I do, I kind of look and I go, there's nothing there. So, you know, automatically you go, like that? Yeah. It used to be so ugly, man. We had to tell her, Mum, take that mirror down, man. I hate it.
My cousin used to get stuff like that. But she said that she used to always get it through like, there's one time she was sleeping and she said that someone was like choking her.
Have you ever had that sleep paralysis stuff?
No.
It's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy.
I saw that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Anyway, guys, tell us what you think of all these parts. 4 parts. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, if you have any
mistaken about the 60, and that'll be on 50 something. All up. But guys, like I always say, subscribe. I hope you guys stay entertained. We're gonna try getting more people on, yeah, Richie?
Yeah.
We're gonna have a laugh. This time it's gonna be more entertaining, like laughing stuff. We're trying to get probably girls on so we could ask girl questions, whatever. Let's just see what happens, you know what I mean? But that's for next time. Guys, thank you so much. Subscribe. And that's it. Richie, play that song. WOLFPACK out.
Oh.
See you guys.